You can't have a play-in without the Atlanta Hawks. It's collectively bargained.
Oh, true.
Fourth year in a row for them. Hawks Magic tonight. Golden State, Memphis, Dubs, and Grizzlies also play in bets. So we'll go around that horn. And what's to make of the New York Giants working out Shedeur Sanders after signing Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston? Let's go around the horn.
Three quarterbacks. Don't forget Tommy DeVito. Please. He's still working in the pizza shop.
How Golden State fell back into the play-in, and if it comes back to haunt them, is the juiciest part of play-in Tuesday. Grizzlies Dubs tonight. Regular season was 3-1 Golden State. However, Memphis' one win was one of the wackiest games of the season, if you remember. They won by 51. Curry was over in that game in December. So, Hawks Magic. They played 4 times since mid-February, and the two have split. Trae Young going to be up for play-in Hall of Fame with another big game in the play-in tournament. But look here, let's start with tonight in San Fran. Ramona, I spy you as the only ESPNer to take Memphis. Tell us why and how you see things playing out tonight.
Well, look, the Warriors have not looked good. They've needed to win this last week or so. This idea that they're going to win now because they have to win, because they don't want to fall into the next game and have an elimination game against the winner of the 9-10 game and maybe play Oklahoma City. Guess what? They lost 3 of their last 5. And Steph Curry in that last game looked really tired to me. He had 8 turnovers. He's got the thumb injury. Jimmy Butler took a knee to the thigh. He was limping around. Draymond had a neck injury. They look old, tired, like they haven't been able to summon their best when they've needed it this last week of the season.
Okay.
And, Draymond had a funny quote this week. We're not senior citizens, and no disrespect to senior citizens. We love our senior. But, they've been doing it the hard way all year long, and I think they seem tired. And plus, this Memphis team has looked better since they fired Taylor Jenkins. Jaren Jackson Jr. is really good against the Warriors when he can stay out of foul trouble. So if he's on the court, I think the Warriors could be in some trouble.
So you like the Grizzlies in this game. Woody Page,
I'm the only one.
Around the horn to you.
Ramona, you're like my little sister, and I love you, but you are so wrong about this. I saw Memphis in his next to last game. They were lifeless, listless, not interested in playing. I think they're actually coming into this game going, we can beat the Kings. We can beat the Mavericks. We are not going to win on the West Coast against the Warriors since we haven't won on the West Coast all year long. I just don't think Memphis is going to give them much of a game, to be honest with you. Jimmy Butler in that lineup against them, he wasn't in a lineup that lost by 50 points. So I think that you're going to see a totally different Warriors team, and they've gotten a couple of days rest, so I don't think they're that old and that tired. So give me the Warriors at home in this critical game. Houston Rockets are vulnerable. That's who they want.
David Dennis Jr. around the horn to you.
Sorry, Ramona. I'm going to go out on a limb and side with the other 21 or so people who picked the Warriors over the Grizzlies here this time. And a large part of it is the fact that the Grizzlies are 1-14 since the All-Star break against teams that are above 500.
Yeah.
They have not looked good in these situations. Last time they went out there, Steph hung 50-plus points on them, and this is a do-or-die game, and the Warriors know this. This game is the difference from going into the first round and having a real shot against the Houston Rockets or having, at best, going to have to go on the road in OKC on 2 days rest. This is a make-or-break game for the Warriors team. They show up in these moments. Jimmy Butler is also a play-in all-star right there alongside Trae Young. I think that the Warriors
a make-or-break game for the Golden State team. I believe you said that, though, before their game against L.A. on Sunday, David Dennis Jr., and it broke them just a little bit. Frank Isola around the horn to you.
This is make-or and break.
Go ahead, Frank.
Make it 22 or so that believe that the Warriors will win. A couple of numbers, and you mentioned them. Steph scoring 52 on April 1st, but in December they lost by 51.
Yeah.
Those are two extremes right there.
Yeah.
The Warriors, their rebounding has been an absolute mess, but Draymond Green said it when they made the trade for Jimmy Butler. He believed they were a championship team. If you're a championship team, you have to win this game. If they have to host a game on Friday, turn around and go to Oklahoma City, they are not going to win 3 playoff series in the Western Conference. It's just not going to happen. I think they will get it done tonight because they have to get it done.
Go around the horn on the other game. Atlanta and Orlando. Ramona Shelburne around the horn to you.
I like the Magic here. They have the best player in the series, and that's Paolo Banchero.
Okay. Woody Page?
I agree with Al Michaels and Loving Spoonful. Do you believe in magic? Yes, I do.
David Dennis Jr. I like that. I appreciate that.
Banchero and Wagner have combined for 60 points against this Hawks team this season. I know it's the Trae Young Invitational, but the Orlando Magic are still going to
That's
win.
3 for the Magic and Frank Isola.
Yeah, the word magic applies to both cities. I'm not going to get into that. But Trae Young, for me, when he goes on the road, he's as mentally tough as a player as you're going to
He's
find.
a big game hunter.
I like Atlanta. They got long defenders.
All right, so we're 3-1 in both games. 3 Golden State over Ramona's Memphis and 3 Orlando over Frank's Atlanta. We'll move on. Shedeur Sanders in the spotlight. And in Las Vegas last night to meet with the Raiders. Vegas, their interest in him is obvious, and they picked 6th. Also on schedule this week, a private workout for the New York Giants in Colorado. That's reportedly coming Thursday. Giants picked 3rd, and they just acquired Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston. So what's that about? And then one other thing to consider here, latest QB draft board from Mel Kiper has Sanders the number 1 QB in the draft, but the way he does a mock draft, along with Field Yates, showed Sanders going number 9 to the Saints, and that's a destination that became buzzier this week with the injury news surrounding Derek Carr. A lot to pack in there, Frank Isola. How do you view Sanders' availability this week between the Raiders and Giants, and also the Saints' involvement?
Yeah, I'm asleep at the wheel. I ran into Ronnie Barnes, a longtime trainer of the Giants, the other night. I should have said, are you guys going to take Sanders with the pick that you have? I think it's all a smokescreen. I think the Giants already made their 2 picks. And when you're that coach and you're that GM and you're under a lot of pressure to win now the ceiling for Sanders is a lot higher than it's going to be right now for Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston. Let's not forget about Tommy DeVito as well. But I don't buy it. I think they're doing it. They're trying to get other teams to bid to move up in the draft. I think it's a smart play.
So you say smokescreen, where there's fire and ice, there's a little bit of smoke. David Dennis Jr., how do you see it?
Yeah, there is a reason that the Sanders family has opted not to have Shedeur in that green room for the draft. That means to me that they are anticipating some sort of drop-off from that top of that draft pick, and that's going to land him, to me, right there at the number 9 with New Orleans, who have to get this thing done, especially now with their QB out, and especially as a rookie quarterback being really the only option that you can get when you are in cap hell / cap purgatory as a Saints are in. Having a good to great rookie quarterback will help with that. Saints have to get this job done.
Does it mean a trade then if they are threatened by the Giants taking him at number 3, David Dennis Jr.?
I don't think they'll trade up to 3 because I don't think they believe that the Giants are going to get him. Maybe they'll trade up to 8 if they believe that somebody's going to take that Panthers spot to get him. But the Saints have to do what they can to get
Woody
him.
Page.
David, you have great taste in NFL teams and where they're going to draft, but your taste in music just sucks, if you want to know the truth.
Oh, that is an unfair characterization of our pre-show routine. David picked the music today as we sat down. Let's get it all out there then, since we're going to bring this up, Woody Page. David picked the music. Woody didn't like it. Go ahead.
Yeah, Saints. That's the team he's going to, whether it's 8th or 9th or whether they have to move up even to 7th to get him. But the Giants are only coming out here for one reason. Like everybody else, they want a trip to Colorado. And why not? While you're here in Boulder, nice town, you're going to check out the quarterback and kind of confuse everyone. Mm-hmm. And so suddenly teams are going to want to try and move up to that spot. That's exactly
all right,
what
you sound like you think it's making it more smoke screen from the Giants. Ramona Shelburne, what do you read into this?
Normally, I think David's right that when you opt not to go to the green room, that it's because you think you might fall and you don't want all those cameras on you. But I don't know, Coach Prime and his family do things differently. They have the show on Amazon. Like, maybe there's something we don't know about why he's not going to the draft room. Maybe they're filming it themselves, and there's a whole show coming out that hasn't been announced yet. That's in development. Yeah, I mean, it would be right on brand. I don't know where he lands eventually, but I think the Giants are doing this to say, we're open for business. Anybody want to move up? Like, we probably aren't going to take this guy, but we're trying to pretend we have enough interest here that if you're interested.
I think I agree with you, Ramona. When you're a Sanders, every room you're in is a green room. Last word, Frank Isola.
That's right.
We all know it's the most important position in sports. If the Giants believe that Sanders is the guy, by all means, take them. I don't think that they believe he's the guy. Why did they make these moves during the offseason? I think they're open for business, and they should be open for business.
we'll put a book note in it right now. Woody Page, your chalkboard today, what does it say? It was only Paige. Yeah, Kurt Millow's line about Paige Beckers, our other Paige in the world. I love that.
Oh, I get
Paige
it.
Beckers, we're going to get to this late in the show, man. Every time, mic'd up, every camera. She hit it out of the park last night. She even made an interview with Frank Isola look pleasant. I saw that as well, Frankie.
It worked. It worked.
Taking a break, by ourselves next.
He was good.
That's awesome.
There's no regrets. Was the best decision going forward. Defense wins championships. Who said it? Well, he's right on the screen right there. Nico Harrison. So today in Dallas, a no cameras, no recording devices roundtable between Harrison and Mavs CEO Rick Welts and select media members. And that's what we're hearing from it. Frank, did today's roundtable help or hurt?
I don't think it helps. Number one, why are we giving the eulogy on the season on the eve of what could be the final game of the season? That makes no sense. I don't like having selected members of the media only invited, no cameras, nobody can record it. We know why they made the trade. He told us that already. They also said 3 years. 1 year you can basically exit off because they are. The question is, why didn't you ask for the Lakers' third best player, Austin Reeves? Why didn't you ask for more draft picks? That's the issue that everyone. We know why they made the trade. Why didn't you get
David
more?
Dennis Jr.?
Yeah, I'm struggling to understand why you have your exit interview before your team actually officially exits. This makes no sense to me, and it brings up more negative attention to a team that does not need more negative attention.
Right.
Everything that they have said since the Luka Doncic trade has made little sense or made little to justify the trade, and it hasn't happened. The only thing that can make it right is what they do in the future, and no amount of press conferences or hidden press conferences or secret press conferences or public press conferences can change that.
All right, I have a sense where this is going. Woody Page, did today's roundtable help or hurt?
I've been doing this for a while. I consider it cowardly. I don't think that was the right way to do it. I don't think it helped them whatsoever. Considering that they are also raising ticket prices for next year, that wasn't even brought up. That 13% higher prices next year. Defenses don't win championship. Offenses win championships. Look at the history of the NBA. And that trade was awful. And when you select the only people you want in the room and they still can't record it or even write down notes, I think that makes no sense at all. I just think they're a bunch of cowards.
Hear ya. Ramona Shelburne. That was some heat from Woody Page. Ramona Shelburne on today's roundtable.
Look, I just was laughing thinking, poor Rick Welts. What he had a Hall of Fame career. He worked for the Warriors. He was trying to retire. He was retired, and they talked him out of retirement to come work for the Mavericks. And now he lands right in this mess. He had nothing to do with that trade. I don't think they even told him about it until this happened. Now he's in the room with Nico. Oh, man. But I think they had two choices when they want to explain why they traded Luka. Do you want to explain you would trade him because you didn't believe in his future and all the soft tissue injuries and all that? Or do you want to just say, we didn't want to give him $354 million, for their $45 million next year. Because I really think it had more to do with the contract he was about to sign than all the other stuff that we've heard since. But if you mention how much you're about to pay him and that you don't want to, people call you cheap.
Buy or sell too. The Suns rebuild that seems imminent now as the Suns have fallen 93 million miles from contention. Budenholzer filed yesterday. Shams Charania reporting today. Phoenix is listening and will continue to listen to trade offers on Kevin Durant. What are you hearing, Momo? And how should this play out this summer?
Well, they sought out trade offers for Kevin Durant at the deadline, and he found out about it secondhand. Like they didn't ask him about it. They didn't work with him on it, and he got upset about it. He handled it very professionally since, but this time I think they're at least going to work with him and his business manager, Rich Kleiman, to find a place where he'd be happy. But I think the return they'll get for Kevin Durant is going to be shockingly low. He's 37. He's got 1 year left on the deal. And any team that trades for him is going to want to extend him at a huge number. So I don't know what they're really going to get back, but there's some interesting options.
Well, talk to me about the options now, too.
New York.
Yeah. As in the Knicks. Okay.
As in the Knicks.
Okay, and Minnesota,
Houston,
you said as well.
Dallas.
Houston.
I think there's 4 or 5 teams that, depending on how they do in the playoffs this year, may have an interest in Mr. Durant. I just don't know what Phoenix is really going to get back from him in light of what they gave
Woodrow.
up.
I don't care what I'm hearing. I care more about what I'm saying. and I've got to throw the Denver Nuggets, and I know Ramona agrees with me, into that because you've got an open situation here where you could get a younger kind of Durant in Michael Porter Jr. He's the same height.
Whoa.
He is a great shooter, and his salary would come in line with making a deal for that. The Nuggets could throw in another future draft choice or a younger player. So I think the Denver Nuggets are going to be.
I don't know about a younger Durant in Michael Porter Jr., but I do know I'm not listening to what other people are saying. I'm listening to what I'm saying is a core belief of Woody Page, and I will reward that now. David Dennis Jr., please.
Woody Page has a better chance of listening to Kendrick Lamar after this show than Michael Porter Jr. has of being the next Kevin Durant. I'm going to throw that out of the way immediately. The thing about the Suns and what you're going to get out of Kevin Durant, as Ramona said, is not what you would have gotten at the trade deadline. This is not going to be a franchise-saving trade no matter where he goes, which is why the big move that the Phoenix Suns are going to make, which I know they're saying that it's not going to happen. I know both camps are saying it's not going to happen. Devin Booker is out of there. He's going to look at what the situation is, and he's going to look and say, I could be, Damian Lillard at the Trailblazers, or I could be, a good player on a bad team right now. But he's going to want to move out of there to someplace better, and that is going to be what the Phoenix Suns are going to have to decide on this offseason.
And Frank Isola.
Yeah, he's going to go to a contending team. They're not going to get a lot back from him. I agree with Woody. I think going to Denver play with Jokic would be great for him. The Knicks haven't won since '73. Why not go for it for the next 2 years? Here's one more, though, and I know the name came up. The Houston Rockets. He and Ime Udoka, when Ime was the assistant coach in Brooklyn, they were very, very tight. Do not be shocked if he ends up on the Houston Rockets.
Ramona, I'll give you a last word on this after the horn.
Well, I agree with you, Frank, that the Houston Rockets make a lot of sense, but that's not the guy in Phoenix they really want. They want Devin Booker. The question, I don't think Devin Booker is really going to opt out or ask out. I think he's going to make them trade him. But if you're Houston, why would you call about Kevin Durant when you can get a young superstar who's right available?
We'll have that be the last word here. Woody Page.
Win now.
Yeah, me pulling some hamstrings here, but the quest for 700 continues for Page. That's it for David and Frank. Thank you. Shelburne, Page, and only Page next to Showdown. Ramona Shelburne, Woody Page in Showdown, and now the WNBA draft last night. Number one, Dallas gets their Page. Becker's rising to every moment, like I said before. When she's mic'd up, every single image, every single video. A diamond for Dallas in this Page. What type of franchise changer is one question I asked this week. You can answer that. Or draft winners and losers. You know how Connecticut and Washington had half the first round pick. Ramona Shelburne, first to you. Draft winners and losers.
I think it's Dallas. Paige Beckers is the star of this draft. And it's also, it seems very easy. Just take Paige Beckers, right? You got the number one pick, do it. But this is an interesting year for the WNBA because there's a new CBA coming, and a lot of the top picks decided not to enter the WNBA draft this year. And so the fact that Dallas got their girl and they were able to draft her is actually pretty big of a win because she did have other options.
And Woody Page.
Ramona, nice guppy that you caught there. But let's go a little bit deeper into the draft. And I would say the Mystics drafting 4 guards. They got 5 on the roster. They're now going to have 9 guards against you. But I love what Seattle did in picking Malanga from the French lady that is 19 years old. She is going to be a generational player in the NBA, and she's got.
Wow, you've scouted out Malanga. Wow, that is incredible. Paige, it was right there for you in your name. The winner is Paige.
I know.
Paige Becker is the winner of the draft. Woody, what are you doing here? Boyd, Shelburne, Showdown 2. Dolphins GM Chris Grier confirming today the team and Jalen Ramsey are exploring trade options and that the feeling is mutual. Grier did say, though, Ramsey did not ask for the trade. Woody, takeaway?
I don't know why in the world Miami would be sitting down and talking to him about a trade if he didn't bring it up. They had named him captain. He was their best defensive player. They were number 4 in the NFL last year in defense, and you're going to get rid of your captain? Makes no sense.
I don't quite get this either because you're paying him because you think of yourself as a team that can contend, and clearly they're not contending. So maybe they just have to restructure things and save money on the cap.
But when someone tells you the feeling is mutual, do you believe it is the question I would ask you.
Always.
It's not mutual.
Showdown 3. Joe Dumars taking over the New Orleans Pelicans. How big of a deal is a new GM for this franchise? What's the first move for Dumars? Ramona, go.
Look, this is a tough assignment, but they do have great talent there. They're perpetually the most underachieving team in the NBA for the last few years. They've just been hurt. And so I think you just got to cozy up to Zion Williamson and try to get the most out of him going forward.
So no trade of Zion. First move is to keep Zion.
I wouldn't.
Woody Page, how about you?
My first move is to get rid of Zion. It hasn't worked out there. He's unhealthy all the time. I would trade for 5 draft picks and say, we're going to go for a same sort of strategy that the Thunder did. Look what
Well, that's not a bad
happened to the Thunder by
strategy.
doing
I can reward you for that. But Woody, you lost this showdown. When you didn't page for page. The feeling is mutual. Ramona, take the FaceTime.
Well, I had the opportunity to throw out the first pitch at a Stanford softball game, and I never thought this was something I would ever do. It's the first time I've ever been asked to throw out a first pitch. I didn't know if I should go overhand, but it's underhand because it's softball. I wasn't a pitcher. I went underhand with a trick pitch. It was in the football stadium.
Oh, that's a good pitch.
But I looked kind of good doing it. Kind of good, right? And it was in the football stadium. And this weekend, Stanford is trying to break the all-time attendance record in college softball because we're playing in that football stadium. They're playing Cal Saturday. Go for the big swing.
All right. Thank you for that, Ramona. 23.5-hour break. We'll see you tomorrow.